welcome back. About a month ago, the last abandoned house to be brought down with federal money fell in Detroit. And now what? Well, the mayor is asking you to pass Proposal N, which is a bond proposal that would provide another $250 million to keep the work going that would cover another, it's estimated, 8,000 structures. Let's talk about with that and a few other matters with Detroit's head of housing planning and development, Arthur Jemison, back with us again on Flashpoint. Arthur, good to see you. Thanks for the time.
Great to see you again.
Let's start with Proposal N. There are some who would say that, look, you came and the mayor asked us for more money for demolitions before, had a plan, and he just won't take no for an order. Why is Proposal N different?
Proposal N is different because we spent about 6 or 8 months after the initial proposal was voted down, talking with council members, talking with members of the community about the proposal, why we thought it was important, and what we thought it needed to do. They gave us some really good input about what needed to change. I mean, led by council members like Member Benson, Member Spivey, Member Ayers, all of whom gave really great input. Specifically, they said this proposal needs to be focused on both rehabilitation and demolition. These two things together are what make neighborhood change happen. They also indicated that we needed to make sure that this had a stimulative effect on the economy and that it was very targeted on Detroit-based and headquartered businesses to make sure that, and that's really, I think, one of the things that's distinguished it from the proposal last year.
The rehabilitation portion is important here because anybody that does the math says $250 million for 8,000 houses. Is it now $31,000 to knock down a house? The money is for, there's more, I guess, than just demolition is what you're saying.
There's a combination of demolition, 8,000 houses, and we are going to be stabilizing and preserving approximately 8,000 houses. Just to give you an example, while there are some houses that can't be saved, we think there's about 8,000 houses that can be saved. The hardest hit fund allows us to take down 21,000, but what we're as proud of is the about 8,000 houses that we were able to get new buyers and households and families in. So the 8,000, the proposal line doesn't just take down 8,000 houses. We're going to be stabilizing and preserving 8,000 more by removing any debris and trash and properly disposing of it, by securing the exterior, and by making roof improvements that make it possible for water to stop infiltrating. That will give us a chance to put those on the Land Bank website and get new private owners for those homes. We're excited about it.
As we go back and look over the history, as important as this work is in cleaning up Detroit, we've seen problems running the gamut from soil replacement to problems with the way that the demolition contracts were put out early in the process. How do you convince Detroiters that it's all been, that part of the cleanup has been cleaned up?
So that was another essential part of the feedback loop between the city administration and the council and community members. It comes up in every forum that I do with folks that, how do we know that the program is being run differently? So the short answer is that we brought demolition back into the direct supervision and oversight of the Detroit City Council by creating a demolition department. And we also are impaneling an advisory board that's going to be reviewing the procurements on a once or twice a year basis with a series of council and administration appointed advisory participants. That way, we're able to get both the kind of oversight that you get from the city council when they approve every contract, and you're also going to be able to have community members be part of the process of reviewing the implementation.
Arthur, I'd like to move to now what's happened with the pandemic. A lot of the work that you've been doing in the neighborhoods, I think you were starting to see a fair amount of traction. You and I've talked about this before. You saw retail showing up in neighborhoods. You saw some restaurants that were getting a lot of attention and starting in areas where we hadn't seen that before. And then we get a pandemic. What's this doing to your work? Well,
in some respects, I guess my part is kind of the easy part. I get to work with DPW on building streets. I get to work with GSD on expanding parks. I get to work with HRD on housing developments. And if you go to Kercheval right now, across from Sister Pie, you'll see a big multifamily mixed income development going up, and you'll see a park that's going to start shortly, and you'll be on a street that's being reconstructed. That's work we're proud of. One of the things that's been toughest, though, is the way this has hit our small businesses.
Yeah.
We just lost DIB, where I got the Friday bagels every week,
Yeah,
and
Detroit Institute of Bagels, right?
Exactly, and we've got a lot of businesses at risk around the city. We've been doing programs like Feed the Front Lines and other things to get business to the small businesses, but it's been a real challenge, and I think it's a real focus of the Growth Corporation and the Jobs and Economy team that I partner with often to get more resources to them. Detroit Means Business is a place that people can go now, I believe, and get good background on programmatic responses. But yes, it's been rough. But I think we're starting to see, again, with places like Yellow Light Donuts, businesses are still opening, and we're going to keep using our resources to make sure that they do.
Let's hope so. In fact, you have to worry about how much we haven't seen yet, the places that we're hoping to see reopen eventually that may just never get a chance to do that. So it really has been a tough stretch for a lot of folks that are already in a really tough field to begin with. Arthur, it's always good to have you on the program. I really appreciate it, and stay safe. We'll talk to you again soon.
I will. Thanks for the invite.
You bet. When we come back, we'll go 3 and out. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.